episode 3664, From Stress to Strength.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. It's Friday. Are you ready for an extraordinary weekend? Oh, come on. I know you're excited. We passed the test. We made it through the crazy week, made it through the weather. There was hail around us, but we didn't get it. How about you? Well, take a deep breath, because when it's Friday, you can go from stress to strength. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already even had the opportunity, you'll want to head on over to createyournow.com, where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, inspiring connection and community. Well, let me give you a brief update, because I haven't updated you in a while. Things are moving very, very fast, but then it seems very, very slow. So it's kind of like this dichotomy of like, okay, but it's moving fast, but it's moving slow. And yes, so we are finishing up our renovations. The house is being put back together again. I am so absolutely thrilled and delighted with all of that. The back side of Create Your Now, oh yes, guess what? We're getting a facelift, as you know, with the website. And we're going to be opening up our brand new community, our free community called Kairos. It's an important part of your time. Yes, a period in your life that you get to be a part of, and we get to get off Facebook. We don't have to have anything in Mighty Networks, none of that. We're going to shut down all of it, and everything's going to be on our website. And then we're opening up AIM. You've been hearing about AIM for a while now, and that is going to be a community where we come together, we can inspire one another, support one another, and also get further teachings from me and going in depth and guests and all of that. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of things around the corner. Plus we have our live virtual events coming up too. Hopefully the plan will be to have our first one here in April. Now, I can't give you a date yet because life is still a little bit crazy. It may be last minute, but there will be a small fee for it, because we have to pay people to run the things to be able to do it. But you get some incredible time, and it's called a PJ party. Who doesn't want a PJ party? Yep. You can put the kids to bed or send them off to grandma's, and you get to have time with new friends from around the world. Well, with that, that's a little bit of an update as to what is going on here at Create Your Now. I'm so excited, so stay tuned here. Be sure to check out the website right now. As this recording is happening, it is the old website, but soon it will be launched to the new one. We'll be adding additional pages and information. You'll look at it and be like, oh my goodness. Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. We're going to have recipes on there. The TV show is going to be on there. We're also on Pray still. So if you haven't checked out Pray in a while, remember, we're there every single Tuesday morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Central, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. So check us out there. It's, we're not just the only ones there. There's some incredible leaders there. You'll find lots of information to really help feed your soul. So with that, we got to get moving, because guess what? It's Confession Day. I love Confession Day. Why? Well, because I think it gives us a little bit of an excuse to be real. Not that we should need an excuse to be real, because we should naturally want to be real, and we should want to better who we are and who we are becoming. But let's face it, in today's fast-paced and demanding world, there is a lot of stress happening, especially with our children. And our children face stress, which impacts their overall well-being all the time. I was on my Facebook feed a day or so ago, and there was something within the community that made a note. Now, I follow a lot of communities on Facebook because I have moved so many times, and I like to keep up with the local news of where we've lived, and then also because we have friends and family that are there also. So anyway, I'm reading on this local community page, and it says, has anybody been having problems in the bathrooms at school? And I just stopped for a moment, and I kind of put my hand on my heart, and I was like, Lord, really? Really? And I read the comments because, of course, me and the love for children and everything, and really the importance of a family structure within the privacy of our own four walls, but also that's extended outward. And our schools are part of that family. And so I read the comments and they were like, yeah, bullying and vaping and all of this. And I'm thinking, seriously, come on already. But our kids are under a lot of stress, moms. Come on, dads, pay attention. And as parents, it's crucial for us to understand the signs of stress and provide our children with ways to navigate these challenges from stress to strength. But if we're not paying attention, we're going to miss the boat, which means we miss them. And it's at their pivotal time in their development of life and how they see themselves. Their self-esteem is so tender at that age. And at some point you have to say, all right, where is my priorities? Are they in the right place? Because research suggests that prolonged exposure to stress in childhood can have detrimental effects on child development, affecting their psychological, relational, physiological, physical, and emotional well-being. Easy for me to say 5,000 times. In other words, it's their whole life it affects. And when you start thinking about it and your heart gets involved, no wonder your tongue gets tied, because there is so much going on. And these are our babies that we're raising up to go and impact the world that they touch, to be a productive adult in society when they grow up. That's a lot of pressure on us as parents, but it's also a lot of pressure on our children. And because of our tech world, there's never silence. You see, way back when, back in my olden days, not my parents' olden days or my grandparents' olden days, just my olden days, we could go home and whatever happened at school stayed at school. The parents came, had the meetings with the teacher, we got in trouble, whatever, disciplined, etc. We went home and there was separation from it. Now, you're just loaded on. You can't ever escape it. So it isn't just about being in the bathrooms any longer. It follows our children everywhere. Stress is lurking around every single corner. And one of the challenging things in understanding stress and kids is that there are many causes. Sometimes we look more on the outside influences, but it can be internally within the family structure too. That's what makes it tough. Who wants to say that you're causing your kiddo stress? No one. No mama wants to admit it. No mama wants to say, yep. But there's truth to it. And it's vital to look at what's happening inside and outside the home in order to better help your child. And ultimately, that's where our focus should be. Our focus and our priorities should be for the betterment of our children. So don't take stress personally. Look at it from a factual perspective and come up with a plan to neutralize it. That is your Kids to Keep It Simple strategy. Neutralize the stress. You know, I think about Mrs. Incredible from the movie Incredibles. It's my husband's favorite movie of all times. And even my grandson likes it too. So I just kind of, chuckle when I think about Mrs. Incredible. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. No, it's not. But it's kind of fun. I sometimes actually find myself as Mr. Incredible. Like, you can identify with all the different characters in that movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a great one. I would start with the original. I'm an original girl. I like it. But think of Mrs. Incredible there with her zapper or her stingray. We can't say other things because, all the bots that crawl everything. Yeah, I don't want that and us to get in trouble and we're shut down and this doesn't get out to those who need to hear it. So the 3-letter word I'm talking about. So we're going to call it the zapper or the stingray. And it's all to get rid of the stress. We've got to figure out how to neutralize it, how to get rid of it. And sometimes, honestly, I think we as parents, it's like, oh, it's just situational. This too shall pass. But it doesn't. With stress, it builds. And the only way to neutralize it is to literally get to the root of it. Figure it out. Because if you don't, it's going to be that little, it's the gremlin in your life, especially in your children's life. And it's going to haunt them. And it's going to come back and they're not going to know what to do about it. And then it's going to lead them down a whole nother rabbit trail. And we don't need that. None of us need that, especially us as parents, because we're already under enough stress. So let's explore some effective ways that we can help our children handle stress. Number one, build emotional resilience. One of the most important ways we as parents can help our children in handling stress is building their emotional resilience. Encourage open communication with your child. Ask them what's going on. Go out for a drive, not because you have anywhere to go, but because when you're driving in a car, they will talk to you more. Why that is, I don't know, but it works every time. So go for a drive, go grab something through the drive-through, whatever it is, get them to talk to you. Create a safe space for them to express their feelings and validate their emotions. I don't care what happened in the olden days to you. Don't tell them, well, this is what I did when no, and no. Not at this moment in time. I don't care their ages. You can tell your stories later. You need to hear their stories. Let me say that again. You can tell your stories later. You need to hear their stories. And that's our foot in the mouth moment. I've been down that road and I'm like, why did I go say, well, when I was growing up, back in the olden days. Now, at times that's kind of funny and you can laugh about it, especially as they get older. But when they're in the thick of it, and if they're really hurting and they're stressed, do you think they really want to hear mama's or daddy's whole thing of what it was like growing up? And, I just had to get up and dust it off and go and keep working. Maybe that's not how it works nowadays. Why? Because remember, these little gremlins follow you home. There is no silence and separation from stress any longer. The bullies just aren't in the bathroom. The bullies come home with them. Why? Because they have phones. You can text people. You have social media and you wonder why our kids are struggling. Pay attention, mama. Wake up, daddy. It's time to know that our kids need us. Talk about confession day. Oh yeah, this is the upset mama here and grandmama. And it's coming out because we have got to help our children. Don't think that it's like, it's all about my story and it was fine, man. I could handle it. I could take it. Maybe, honestly, you couldn't. Looking back, maybe you say you did, but in the thick of it, you would have gone and run and hid in a corner too. So think about it. And remember, when we look back on our memories, they change over time. Our memories do, especially memories as children. Okay, we've got studies and research out there. The way kids remember, and then as we get older, those memories shift. And so when a kid says, this is what happened, and mom's like, that's not really what happened. He kind of got half the story right. It's because the way they see things is different from the way it actually happened because their minds are not there completely. They're not fully developed, okay? So we've got to look at stress and building that emotional resilience. How does it come together? Teach them coping mechanisms, deep breathing. We do a lot of deep breathing on Create Your Now right here, don't we? We do. It's important. It calms us immediately. What about mindfulness techniques? Getting grounded, going out in nature, going for a walk, just letting the breeze hit your face. Maybe engaging in activities that they enjoy. What does that look like? And by fostering emotional resilience, your children then can learn to navigate stressors effectively and develop healthy coping strategies for the future. That means as they get older, it gets easier. Not the stress part, but how to manage it. And that's what you want. So you got to build that emotional resilience and make sure, one of the things in there, I don't want this just to be glossed over. You've got to validate their feelings. You may not like that they're feeling that, but you need to honor their feelings. Don't leave them stuck there. Don't give them an excuse really to stay stuck there. That's why you have to have those coping mechanisms to safeguard them, to pull them out of the water, so to speak, the stress waters. But you got to validate them because if you do not, you are pushing them, mama, in the corner. And that's important to understand. So build that emotional resilience. Number 2, establish healthy routines. Consistency and structure play a significant role in reducing stress for our children. And when you establish healthy routines, such as like regular sleep schedules, so very important. Even as they get older, And I know college comes around and they just want to be all out there. They need to start learning their bodies before then. So when you have them in the privacy of your own four walls, help them know what they need for sleep. Get them on a sleep schedule. They need to eat healthy, right? Balanced nutrition. And set time away for dedicated homework, play, relaxation. All of that can help your children feel more secure and supported and in control. Our kiddos don't like being told what to do. Imagine that. Do you like being told what to do? No, of course not. We like to be in control, but our kiddos don't understand that that's really what they're in search of. And that control really needs to be factored in to the area of support. And so if you can connect support and control, and they feel like they're in control because you are helping to support them, that's a winner all the way around. And encourage that physical activity and outdoor play to help promote that overall well-being and stress relief. In the morning, go outside. Okay, as we go into the summer months, it's going to get warmer. Don't have any sunscreen on. Boys, you can go shirtless. Girls, put on your swimsuits or wear a tank top. Allow and put shorts on. Allow your body to be fully exposed as much as possible to the sun. Why? Vitamin D. Our bodies need vitamin D. When you have vitamin D from the very beginning in the morning, it sets you up for success for the rest of the day. Your body does not make vitamin D. Now, I'm not going to make this a health course here, but our vitamin D is important to what? Handling stress, believe it or not. Balancing our hormones, believe it or not. It all plays an important role. So you've got to look at what are some of those healthy routines. Well, if you're going to be home and available over the summertime, get your kids outside without sunscreen at the beginning of the day. I did not say during the heat of the day. 15, 20 minutes, that's it. Then go put your sunscreen on and enjoy the rest of the day outside, whatever you're going to do. But get that vitamin D initially, okay? Unfortunately, we have been so programmed to slather on so much sunscreen, and I'm a believer of it. But if we don't get our vitamin D and that sun exposure at the very beginning, we are not doing our bodies well internally. And therefore our cells are like, whoa, help me. And we don't understand how to handle things. And you wonder why everything's just crazy and your kiddos have a meltdown. Now, they'll still have a meltdown possibly, depending upon their ages. But vitamin D is going to help balance that. And when you can provide a stable environment, when you can provide that support for your children, it helps them manage stress more effectively. And then finally, number 3, encourage problem-solving skills. We've got to teach our children how to solve problems. Because unfortunately, Google doesn't. Google just gives them the answer. So does AI, ChatGPT. If you're not aware of it, go look it up. Because AI is here to stay, whether you like it or not. And so you need to know where your children are getting information from. You need to be an informed parent. And an informed parent says, okay, I've got to teach problem-solving skills. Kids do not understand how to handle their emotions. Why does a baby cry? Because they're trying to tell us something. They know something's not right, but they can't sit there and say, my diaper's wet. I'm hungry. My tummy hurts. I want you to hold me. I need comfort right now. So they cry. And that cry means all the above of what I just said. And you wonder why we have parents scratch their head going, I don't know what's going on, because there's so many possibilities. But eventually you begin by listening to their certain cry, because one cry will mean something else. And based on the hours and all of that, you take that all into consideration. You figure out their patterns, and then you know, oh, this is what my baby needs. And then they start to grow up. And then language becomes a part of their life. But now we've got computers, and we've got kids that are 18 months old, sometimes even younger. They're FaceTiming grandma and grandpa and Gigi. And they're sitting there going, you know what? Oh my goodness. They're sitting there flipping things on the phone faster than you ever could. And they're not even 2 years old. And you're like, how is this possible? It is possible. That's what's crazy. But guess what? A computer is not going to teach them problem-solving skills. You, mama, have to do the work. You, dad, pay attention. You got to do the work. You want to empower them by being able to sit there and say, this is the problem, so they can face a challenge with confidence and figure it out. So encourage critical thinking, creativity, and resilience when dealing with obstacles or stressful situations. What can we do? When your child has an issue and there's a problem, help them break down their problem into smaller, more manageable tasks and guide them to finding a solution independently. For example, if you've got a child who's building blocks and maybe they're building a city or whatever, maybe it's with blocks or Legos or magnetic tiles, whatever it is, and all of a sudden they had a moment, or no, wait, maybe it was a dog that came by and the dog knocked over some of the stuff. Oh no, and now all of a sudden life is coming to an end. It's the worst thing ever. We're on a meltdown. Oh my goodness, how could this ever happen? Right? And your child's like, but I just put this together, mommy, and just sobbing. It's like, oh my goodness. I could see if it was something else, but really? Okay, take a deep breath, mom. We got this. You can address it and say, okay, I know this part's broken, but this part still works. So what can we do to make this part better? I don't want to. I work so hard. Okay, take a deep breath. What if we build it back together? Okay, mom. And then slowly you put the pieces together. Now that might be at age 2, 3, or 4, or 5 or 6, depending upon, or you could have a 17-year-old at a meltdown and they're working on a major project or something. Take a deep breath. What can we do to put things back together again? And as they get older, it becomes easier, as in the process does, but it's that one step at a time leads to miles of greatness. And so you can help them, mama and dad, break down those problems and make it to where, okay, it's not that hard. It seemed hard at first because I was thinking of the whole thing, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So nurture your child by helping them establish problem-solving skills. And when you do that, oh my goodness, you are equipping them to be able to navigate stress and adversity, and it will carry them through the rest of their life. Now, obviously, stress is going to be different, right? Because losing a job, getting passed over for a promotion, or, things like that, that can bring up other types of stress. And then you have to, depending, there's just so many variables. However, the little things that we do now help with the bigger things later. Think about it. Now, we've talked about the 3 things for the kiddos, but let me tell you this. If your kids are stressed, so are you. That's just a fact. So we as parents, guess what? You got to take care of yourself. Practice self-care. Maybe you need to go take a walk in nature. Maybe you need to meditate a little bit. Maybe you need to go exercise or go for a run. What is it for you? Maybe you need to go and play pickleball. I don't know what you enjoy. Go to the golf course. It's not raining, go. But you need to have some downtime for yourself. Feed your internal so you can help raise your kids better. And then seek support. It may not always be family, by the way. I want to give you permission. You may have family that you're like, I don't really trust their opinions or the way they raised me or whatever it is. You don't want to go down that road. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to be mean about it. Just don't go to them asking them those kind of questions then if that's not what you want. But you want to find whoever you use, people that you can trust, like literally would lay their life down. If you can't find that friend or family member or even somebody that's like in a group, an online community, AIM's going to be opening up. That'd be a great place for it. Kairos too. If you have that trust factor there, then you can find that support. I would also recommend health professionals, doctor, mental health professionals, counselors, therapists, coaches. Ask them. But again, you must be able to trust them. Don't make the assumption that, oh yeah, just because they know my kid, everything, I can tell them the story. It might not be a good idea. You need to really understand. You need to discern what's right for your child when you're dealing with stress and what they're going through. So seek support that's not only going to support you as a parent, but then in turn will also support what you want for your child by being the parent. Does that make sense? And then also set some boundaries. You may need to say no in certain seasons because you're just overloaded. That's okay. Maybe household responsibilities need to shift a little bit. If your kiddos are going through a rough time and, dad, it's easier for mom to handle some things, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? Don't take it personally. Then dad, help out with some other things around the house so mama can do what she needs to do. Remember, this too shall pass, as in it's a stage. But you got to put all the work in now and not wait till where it gets worse later. So when we look at this as being, how can we handle it together within the privacy of our own four walls, and then extending it outside for safety and security for both your children and you, let me tell you, you'll learn to go from stress to strength. And whether you want to admit it or not, mom and dad, you play a vital role in helping your children handle stress in today's demanding world. You just do. And I promise you're going to make it through. Your hair might lose a little color. You might lose a little sleep, actually, but you will make it through. And when you do, you'll be able to sit back in that lazy boy recliner and be like, yep, I can take it from stress to strength. Go in peace, be present, be incredible, be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed weekend. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.